Hello, hello. Welcome to another conversation lesson, guys. We're going to jump right into it today. Let me open our Ingu website. As I always mention, you guys can come here by yourself or with a friend and work through some of these articles. They have a lot of free material, and you can also contact them if you want one-on-one lessons. So go for it. Let's see. Let's do this. Smart stars, the actors with university degrees. I've heard some of them are actually very intelligent. Let me just make this bigger. As always, we're going to start off with the vocabulary, and I'll read it out loud. Or I'll read it, obviously. I'd like you to hit pause afterwards and you read it out loud. You have to try and say the words. If the definition that they give here is not clear, if you still don't understand it, just type the word. You can type graduate and meaning into Google, and they'll give you all the different meanings for it in different contexts, because sometimes you can have one word with many different meanings depending on what you're saying. So let's start. Graduate, graduate. To finish a course of study and get a diploma, degree, etc. He graduated from Yale with a degree in economics. Then psychology, the study of the mind and how it affects behavior. She's an expert in the field of child psychology. Play, to act as a character in a movie, TV show, etc. Will Smith plays the role of Muhammad Ali in the film. Clumsy, awkward when moving or using one's hands. I can't believe you spilled coffee on my laptop. You're the most clumsy person I've ever met. Then a master's degree, a university qualification gained after 1 or more years of study following a bachelor's degree. Margaret Atwood completed her master's degree in English literature in 1962. Eccentric, behaving in slightly strange or unusual ways. David Bowie was known for his eccentric style and theatrical performances. All right, so let's go right to the article. Again, I'm going to read the whole thing at once. You can hit pause after each little paragraph. Excuse me, I'm going to sneeze. Oi, excuse me. You can hit pause after each little paragraph and read it out loud again. If you're not sure, just skip back a little bit, listen again, try again. If I read at a regular kind of speed, just a normal speed, if you cannot read at that speed, slow it down till you get comfortable. Go over it maybe 1 or 2 times, and the more comfortable you get, then you start speeding it up. So don't push yourself too much. All right. So, excuse me, I've got a bit of a allergy situation today. Well, let's try and get through it without sneezing. Smart stars, the actors with university degrees. Don't give up your education is something that our parents may have said to us when we told them about our dreams of winning an Oscar or becoming a TV star. Maybe we didn't quite get there, but what about the people who did? Well, there are quite a few actors who got to the top without giving up their studies. Here are some of those famous names. Natalie Portman, best known for movies like Garden State, Star Wars, The Phantom Menace, and Jackie. Portman graduated from Harvard University in 2003 with a degree in psychology. Huh. Portman, who won the Best Actress Oscar for her part in the 2010 film Black Swan, also co-wrote a paper about the brain that was published in 2002. Rowan Atkinson. Most of us know Atkinson for his long career playing clumsy man-child Mr. Bean, but the man behind the character is much smarter. The British actor studied electrical engineering at Newcastle University before getting a master's degree in the subject from Oxford University, where Love Actually co-star Hugh Grant studied a few years later. Lisa Kudrow. Kudrow's most famous character, Phoebe in Friends, may have been a bit eccentric, but Kudrow herself actually got a degree in psychology, a subject that looks at the way the mind and the body work together. After graduating, she worked as a scientific researcher with her father for a few months before becoming an actress. Ken Jeong. Jong discovered his love for acting while he was studying to become a doctor, but although he did a bit of acting in university, he focused on finishing his medicine degree and began working as a doctor. Only later did he become a famous face in TV and movies, including the three Hangover films. All right. Oh, here we've got our exercise questions. So questions related to the article. I'm going to read through them. You can try and answer it after I read the question. Don't go back and look. Just try and do it from memory. Then I'm going to try and answer them myself just from memory. A lot of times I do bad at these because I'm terrible with numbers and names and things like that, especially short-term memory. And then we'll go back and have a look. So let's start. What did Natalie Portman major in? Oh, what did she major in? Do you remember? Where did Hugh Grant study? And when did Ken Jeong become interested in acting? Do you got those? Get all of them? Let's see. Oh, I just read this. What did Natalie Portman major in? She majored in something with the brain. Was it psychology? Was it psychology? I'm going to say psychology, something with the brain. Where did Hugh Grant study? At Oxford University, if I'm not mistaken, a few years after Mr. Bean. When did Ken Jeong become interested in acting? While studying, right? While he was studying. Let's go back and look. Natalie Portman, what did she major in? A degree in psychology. All right, and she wrote a paper about the brain. Then Hugh Grant studied at Oxford University, and Ken Jeong, he did a bit of acting in university. That's it. That's it. They didn't say anything about after. Yeah, just he started. We did a bit of acting in university. All right. Did you get all of them? I think this might be the first time I got all of them. It didn't involve any numbers. Let's go to our discussion questions. Again, I'm going to read the question. You can hit pause before or after I answer it, and you can listen to my answer first and then add something to it. Say you don't agree with me or just give an answer, or you can give an answer first and then listen and see if my answer is similar to yours, if we have something in common. All right, so let's go. Do you find it surprising that these film stars are so highly educated? No, not really. I knew Mr. Bean was very intelligent. I didn't know where he studied or what, but I've heard him talk, and not just obviously a lot of people when they speak British, they sound so sophisticated, but just the way that he articulates himself and his thoughts and how he looks at things, you could see that he's very intelligent. I did know about Kim Jong being a doctor, and I didn't know about Phoebe, Lisa Kudrow. That was quite surprising. Natalie Portman, I'm not surprised, but yeah, I'm surprised by Lisa Kudrow. That was quite an interesting one. And trying to see if they've got any other questions. Yeah, and I'm surprised that they didn't mention the girl from Big Bang Theory. Uh, uh, um, what's her name again? She's the she used to be Blossom when she was younger. She was a child actor, but then she focused on her studies. Then she played in Big Bang Theory. She was who's the main guy? The tall, skinny one. Now I don't even remember their name. He was the girlfriend, or she was the girlfriend of the tall, skinny one. Wow, I can't even remember their names now. You can see their faces right here. Anyway, she actually has a degree in physics or something. So she's the only one that the character is actually, oh, she is intelligent like that. It's not just acting. So yeah, I was quite surprised when I found out that she was an actual physicist or something like that. All right. Well, number two, would you rather meet Portman, Atkinson, Kudrow, or Jong? Ooh, I think I might go for Atkinson. I think I might go for Rowan Atkinson. Oh, yeah, I think I might go for Atkinson. Just, yeah, I think he's iconic all over the world. You know, Mr. Bean, the intelligent thing they did with Mr. Bean is he doesn't really speak. Sometimes, but not, it's a movie or a show you can watch in all over the world in any language because it's more just his acting. So he's iconic around the world. Number three, have you watched any of the films or TV shows mentioned in the article? Yeah, obviously, Mr. Bean. Who hasn't? Friends, yes. I watched all the Hangovers. I watched Black Swan. I love watching movies, so I watched most of these things they mentioned. What would you say are your all-time favorite comedy films and TV shows? Friends is probably one of my coming to shows. I would say Friends is an absolute masterpiece. I don't think there would ever be a show like that again. I love it, and whenever it comes on, I'll sit and watch it, even though I've watched the whole series back to front many times. I'll watch it again. I love Friends. Comedy films. Oh, that's a rough one. Maybe something like Rush Hour. I love Rush Hour. I think they're making a fourth one, so that would be great. Um, yeah, I would say that just off the top of my head. And then obviously Mr. Bean. Did I mention Mr. Bean? Number five, are you a fan of the science fiction genre? If so, do you like Star Wars? I love science fiction movies. I just actually watched Interstellar again today, and yeah, so I love science fiction movies. Star Wars, I like Star Wars, but I'm not, some people are crazy about Star Wars and they know all the characters and the deep ins and outs and all of these things. And I think they've gone too deep. There's too many. It was the main film series, and then it branched out into all these little side things and timelines and sequels and prequels and all of that, and it's just too confusing. So whenever one comes out, I'll watch it, but I don't freak out about it. Yeah. Okay. Further discussion. Let's see. Number one, do you know anyone who has a job that has nothing to do with their studies? Uh, I'm t- I'm not sure. I'm sure I must have. I think my sister. She had a she studied something in the IT field, and then she worked in the bank, not in the IT related field. And then she did a bit of IT when they closed down the bank branch where she worked. But now she's again into something else that's not related with IT. So, but usually if somebody, because at my age now, everybody's finished study. So if they do a job, you don't ask like, oh, what did you study? And then it's like, oh, it's not related to what you're doing. So yeah, I wouldn't really know now. Number two, how did you choose your career path? Are you happy with your choice? Well, I, when I was young, when I just finished school, I was a professional cyclist for a few years, and that was always my dream. I always wanted to be a professional cyclist. But that was back in 2000, from 2000 to 2003. And I don't know if you know much about cycling, but that was smack bang right in the middle of the Lance Armstrong era with all the doping and things that went on. And I just didn't want to make a life doing that. And there was no way you could be the best without doing that. So, and I always did it to be the best. There was no second. I wanted to be the best. And when I got a team in France, and when I got there and I saw like, oh, this is where you're going. take it or leave it. I was like, I'll leave it. And then after that, I didn't know what I wanted to do, and this side and that side, and was back and forth. And eventually, I ended up in Thailand being a teacher. And I've been doing that now for the past, where are we now? 13 years? Almost 13 years. This year it will be 13 years. And no, 12 years, 12 years. Yeah, I'm very happy with it because it gives me a lot of freedom and I don't work crazy hours. I don't get paid a lot of money. That's not the good part, but I mean, you have to pick the pros with the cons. But I'm happy where I am. So, not going to complain. And I think where I am now will open a lot more other opportunities in the future. So, yeah. Number three, if you were to start your education again, would you do anything differently? From the beginning, from like primary school education, or just to finish high school, start studying, I would do a lot of, either way, I would do a lot of things differently. Yes, I would do many, many things differently. I would pay more attention to my studies. But the thing is, it's like you're telling that to your kids now, and you see their reaction is exactly the same as what your reaction was when you were a kid, and it's like, yeah, I know, I remember what it was like there. But then if you don't, we all have to walk this path, and there's no turning back the clock. So unfortunately, some of us, yeah, I think most people, I would say more than half the people out there, if you tell them, if you can go back to school, what would you do different? There would be a lot of them that would do things different. So, but that's the, what do they say? That's the something about life where you learn all this through experience, but then what's the expression they have? Teacher times the teacher of, there's an expression, you have to Google it. There's some expression about it. Um, yeah, I don't I off the top of my head again. But hindsight. All right, let's go on. Who's the most highly educated person you know? What do they do for work? Ugh, most highly educated person I know. My one friend, he's also into science and he's also got doctor's degrees and whatnot, does all sorts of research in labs and stuff, and very intelligent guy, super intelligent. And whenever you're around him, he talks about. I remember we went to drink coffee one time, and he was just stirring the coffee, and he's telling me like, you see, when you stir the coffee, there's steam coming out, and if you stop stirring it, there's no steam coming out, and it's something with a, I don't know. He explained the whole thing to me there, and I was like, gee whiz, I didn't even. I probably did learn it in school, but I never paid attention. And yeah, you always learn something being around that guy. Number five, acting is a craft. It's something you can learn how to do. It's not just about being naturally talented. Idris Elba. What are your thoughts on this statement? Yeah, 100%. I did a bit of theater acting 2 years back, or just before the pandemic, actually, and it was quite interesting being around all these acting people and learn. They giving you clues on how to do what to do and all of that. It's definitely something you can learn how to do. Um, and also sometimes harder acting very naturally. You think, I always thought it's like, yeah, you just, when you do this and you do this, but you just, that's what you're thinking all the top of your head is like, yeah, I can do it like this, or I'll do, and a lot of people are like, oh, I can act angry, and then they let out all their anger, but to say words that somebody else wrote and put a feeling to it and put all of these things together, it's not that easy. Yeah. But interesting though. I like that. I'll do it again if I get the opportunity. All right. Well, that's it, guys. So let me stop this. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Have a nice evening. I'm going to cut it short. Keep well. See you next time. Bye bye.